Hey everybody, well you got me tonight right now. We'll see if Sarah joins us. If she can't, I'm going to do something different tonight and we'll just see how long this lasts. And since it's Valentine's Day, we will talk compatibilities. So if anybody wants to give any sign combos, I will give you my thoughts here. And Sarah will be on her way in a little bit, I think. No, nope. Okay. I don't think she's going to be with us. So we will do this compatibility thing if anyone cares for it. And if not, because we were going to do a special show anyway where I did like the best. We're going to do our opinion or the best and worst signs for romantically for each sign. So I know some of you on here, whenever I talk the Venus romantic stuff, you kind of groan, but hopefully we'll get to upset this. I don't have the aspects for the week. As you guys know, I do it cold. So without that here. All right, we got our first one. So Callie says, and I'm going to do this the same way I do the aspects. I'm going to kind of like hash this out as we talk. Taurus woman, Leo man. So this is an interesting combo because this isn't necessarily a good or bad one. I mean, none of them are really good or bad, but not necessarily a problematic one. But there are some interesting pieces here. So you got stable fire and stable earth, which is kind of an interesting piece. So, the biggest thing I see here on this is, particularly since it's on the man side, I'm going to be a little stereotypical here, but, Leo, generally big egos, likes the spotlight, likes attention, which isn't necessarily going to be against what a Taurus will want to do, but a Taurus is a little more of a homebody. But where the potential comes in here for difficulty is Tauruses are, it's that big bull on the hill that's not going to move. They are stubborn. They aren't going to change their position. And so if that position kind of goes against kind of where the Leo is at, you can have problems. So it's not necessarily a combo that I think is a bad combo, but if you guys don't see eye to eye on things, that could get kind of messy then, because the Leo's not going to like having their ego bruised on things, and Taurus just isn't going to budge on stuff. So it's a combo that, in my opinion, if there are some issues in the relationship or controversies in the relationship, they could take a very long time to resolve, if ever. And it could possibly just like sit and fester. So, all right, we got some more coming in here. We have Virgo man, Cancer woman, another interesting one. So, again, I don't see this one as a particularly good or particularly bad combo. And I know I forgot whenever I wear my shirts that have like a pattern on it, it gets like really trippy here. So I forget or I apologize. Okay, so before I get into the Virgo man Cancer, I just want to quick say Kylie had she feels like a weird Taurus hybrid. Does that make sense? Well, it has a lot of other things to do, particularly when you're talking about, I'm being very general here, but your moons, particularly with romantic relationships, your moon sign will come into play. And then you got to look at that interplay between Venus and Mars. So for a woman, Venus will be more how you express love, and Mars is more for what you are attracted to, and then it's the opposite for a guy. The guy that's going to be the Mars is kind of how they express themselves romantically, but Venus is going to be what they are attracted to, and then you have the whole emotional piece on the moon. So lots of stuff in play. Real detail would come from kind of looking at both birth charts, but this is very high level combos. I know there's like tons of YouTube videos out here on this. Some I agree with, some I don't. So, sorry, we'll get back to Steph and Virgo man, Cancer woman. Again, not a bad one. Not kind of neutral, I would say. So what you got here is Virgo's detail. So you have mutable or kind of flexible earth with cardinal water. So, given that combination, usually the cardinal sign will be the more dominant sign, in my opinion here. So that the Cancer would probably drive things, and they're going to drive things in ways that that make them feel emotionally secure. Virgo is all going to be, I know they don't have this rep, but they're a little more easygoing on things. But where they don't get the rep is they are detail. So there's kind of like an OCD element to Virgo. So this is, again, another one. This could work out fine if the emotional stability and security that the Cancer woman needs syncs well with those kind of OCD and detail things that are important to the Virgo guy. So, if they're aligned, this will work out really well. If they're not aligned, and kind of those details and kind of the pickiness of the Virgo makes the Cancer woman feel insecure, then you can get into trouble. All right. Next one, Pepper, Aries woman, Aquarius man. All right. Well, we talk a lot about Aries. It's the first sign, so it's impulsive. It's, action oriented. It kind of jumps before really thinking things through. Aquarius is the kind of the rebel, the innovator, the outside the box kind of thinking, doing things kind of in unique ways. So this one's interesting. This is cardinal fire with fixed air. Air and fire signs tend to get along pretty well. I think this combo is in general a good combo, but I'm going to make all these, there'll be some caveats. In this case, this could be a very exciting combo with the Aries kind of moving and just driving things and just kind of action oriented, with the Aquarius willing to stir things up. That combo can give a lot of action and excitement in the relationship. But just keep in mind, if both those energies are channeled in kind of destructive or very risky efforts or activities, this could also be a very volatile relationship. This could be, a lot of excitement, or this could be kind of a self-destructive relationship for both people in the couple. So it all depends on which way those energies get channeled. And I'm happy to do follow-up questions in here too. I'm just trying to get keep up with the Taurus hybrid already got. Okay, Rebel says no, it's a difficult one. Scorpio woman, Gemini man. Yeah, I would say that's that's an interesting one. And here's why. So Scorpio, emotional intensity, fixed water, Gemini, mutable air. Geminis, out of all the signs, are the ones, I know this sometimes gets attributed to Libra, but I think Gemini is the most flirtatious of all the signs. And also because of that whole two-faced, or, the twins, so the two sides. I know Sarah always goes with that Juno, the two different heads on this. They can be indecisive, and just they're very outgoing, very verbal, kind of life of the party or social butterfly nature makes them very flirtatious. I, in general, see this as a combo that doesn't play well with Scorpio, who they tend to be, even though they won't necessarily show it immediately. Scorpios can be that emotional intensity can make them very possessive. They can get very jealous. They can be very off-put by that flirtatious nature on the Gemini side. So if you can make it work, great. But that's the one call out I would say on that end is Gemini's basic kind of social nature can at times probably trigger Scorpio's jealousy and possessiveness. All right, gonna keep going down here. Oh, so Steph says she's got a Venus in Virgo and she is a Cancer. So yeah, so we talk a lot about the Cancer. So I would talk about the Venus in Virgo then. Emotionally, again, since it's female with the Venus in Virgo, it's going to be more how you express things. So you're going to be very detailed in your relationships. Also, probably very picky and a lot of attention to detail. All right. We have somebody saying a Taurus combo. Okay. Now, why I find this funny, it's not bad. I have my moon is in Taurus. They will be a immovable object and quite the force if they are aligned. And this will also be a combo where they will be very happy and content just hanging out. They'll be fine just chilling with Netflix and having a pizza. But where the problem comes in is if they are on opposite sides of an issue relationship wise, because neither one's going to budge. And so that could get real ugly. And, the funny thing with Taurus is, they're not volatile. So this isn't like an Aries. It's going to, be very loud. This is like a slow burn. They'll just both like get entrenched and neither one will budge. And that could be interesting. But if they're aligned, it's a great combo because, they'll have that all that common energy, and the fact that they both like I always call Taurus stable and indulgent, so they'll both like stability. So they're not going to be one pushing for all kinds of excitement and mixing things up, and the other one feeling unsettled by that. They both want kind of stability. And they both like that kind of indulging the senses. So, in general, I think it's a good combo as long as they don't have a major disagreement, because neither one's going to budge and that could get ugly. All right, next one. Gemini woman, Cancer man. Okay, so this is interesting. I already talked about I've actually talked about both of these, so just a little bit of subtle differences. So again, Gemini, I feel, is the most, whether it's intentionally flirtatious, just the fact that Geminis are kind of the social butterfly and they're very verbal and they're very, very social. There's a flirtatious energy to Geminis. And then also because I talk about, it's kind of like the path less traveled, which direction do I go? I feel like Geminis will tend to kind of keep their options open. So much like the Scorpio, the Cancer is not as, Cancer is pretty intense emotionally too, but not like a Scorpio. Where it's a little different with the Cancer is the Cancer is going to want emotional security. That's going to be very, very important to them. So I see this combo. This might be one of the, again, this is just a world according to Matt. So take it for what it's worth. This might be the most negative combo so far, in my opinion, just because, unless the Gemini is really aware of how sensitive the Cancer will be to that emotional security, if they honor that and kind of dial back that social butterfly and kind of flirtatiousness, it'll be okay. But if you take both just as kind of how they average act, that social butterflyness and just kind of flirtatious attitude is going to trigger the Cancer. And they're not going to feel very secure. And if a Cancer doesn't feel very secure, remember, it's a cardinal sign, so they will drive things. And so the change they might drive is just kind of going elsewhere. So keep that in mind. Just for fun, Aquarius and Scorpio, fixed water and fixed air. This one could go either way. Again, you get that Scorpio intensity. And the other thing with Scorpios, I'll say it's always like poker face. So I always view is if you look at a river and how the river's flowing, you don't know what's going on underneath the river current wise. That's how I view like a Scorpio. They're very good at having poker face. And even though they have that emotional intensity, you're not going to necessarily know where they stand on things. Whereas the Aquarius, they're going to shake stuff up. They're just going to, They'll shake things up just to shake things up. They like to break the rules and be innovative and be. So this is another one, like if their goals are aligned, it can work really, really well. If their goals aren't aligned and what the Aquarius is out there doing is making the Scorpio feel kind of insecure, not that you would know it, because again, they'll hide it. That's where you're going to have trouble with. And, that's the thing to keep in mind. There's a lot of air water combos that people are putting up here. Remember, water is all emotion, so they're going to feel their emotions. The three signs handle it different ways, but they're all going to be very emotional. and all the air signs are very verbal and very social. And so you have this combo of, a very extroverted, interacting with other people, very, very sociable, combined with that emotion. If it's aligned, it works well. If it's in a way that's going to threaten the emotional sign, there can be problems and jealousy there. All righty. A little bit of added thing from Rebel saying about, on the Sagittarius cusp. Yeah. So, again, just keep in mind when I'm saying these are generalizations, and there's a lot of other things in play than just the sun sign here. So, take this for what it's worth. This is kind of, obviously there's, my real opinion in this, but some of this is fun. Sarah could not make it tonight, so I decided, since I always wanted to kind of do the compatibility one anyway, and I don't have the aspects for the week, so I always do them cold. Sarah comes up with those, so I just figured I would hop on and see for as long as people wanted to do kind of Valentine's Day compatibilities, I would be happy to do that. And we'll kind of do it like I do my after show on Sunday Night Dead. We'll just kind of talk as long as people are on here wanting to talk, and then when it kind of dies out, we will stop. All right, so we got a next one here. Scorpio female, Leo male. This is another one that could be, this could be very intense. Water and fire. Again, you get steam. So, and they're both fixed. So think about that. Kind of stubborn, kind of stable. So this could be a really hot combo. This could also be another one where, remember, your stereotypical Leo. But again, we're just talking generalizations here because of sun signs. Ego, spotlight, attention. If they like lots of attention in a way that the Scorpio will feel threatened or jealous, there can be problems. If they are aligned and they have really good understanding together, this could be a fantastic and very passionate combination. But, if the Leo kind of doesn't care, or the Scorpio keeps some of those emotions and things that are bothering her, since you're saying Scorpio female, hidden, the Leo out there are getting attention, particularly if they're getting attention from other women, could really trigger the Scorpio. I would say, again, generalizations. It's so funny because I actually love all the water signs, but I feel like I get hate from the water signs from how I characterize them. I would characterize that the sign that is most likely to get jealous is Scorpio, because of that, how emotionally intense they are. And probably the one that would get least jealous is Gemini, because Gemini is just like popping all around, just talking to tons of people. Yeah. All right, here we go. Going through here. Rolla says my mom's Leo is a piece of work. It's funny, and I'll just to be fair, I've come across this. Everybody's got everybody that follows us seems to have like their sign that, or one or two that they have like stories about. All right. Somebody that I believe is new to the show, at least I don't recognize. Cap female, Libra male. This will be an interesting perspective, since my birth chart is I'm a Cap, but I have a Libra stellium, so which means 3 signs, 3 planets in the same sign. So I'm kind of a Cap Libra hybrid. So hopefully I do this one justice. Those signs are square to each other, so at least on paper, it shouldn't work well, but I actually think it does. Capricorns are very achievement-oriented, where Scorpio's emotional intensity, I would say caps are like cold intensity. So it's, head versus heart kind of deal. They're the ones that are like, I don't care how you feel about it. We're just going to get this stuff done. Libras are, they're known for being indecisive, but Libras also, it's ruled by Venus. They like things nice. So, they not only do they want their environment and their relationships nice and peaceful, They want nice things. And that's where I feel almost that kind of materialistic end is where Caps and Libras can really sink, because Caps also like nice things. They tend to have a little more of a older, refined style, but Libras maybe a little more cutting edge on their styles, but they both style is important to both of them. So that's a good overlap. The fact that it's Libra male, Cap female, there could be a little bit of tension there in that I use kind of on the analogies. If you watch like the old, like at least like in the 80s, the old like teen movies and stuff, kind of the rich prep guy is kind of like the pretty boy is kind of like the Libra male. And obviously the Cap female is going to be probably a very achievement oriented kind of go-getter person. So the only call out there is, in general, I don't think, Libras would be threatened by that if the woman achieves more than the guy, as long as the Libra male can have his style and have his nice, kind of nice environment and nice things. So I actually feel that's probably out of all of them so far, that's the combo that I feel probably meshes the best. All right. Ooh, most toxic pairing. Callie, let me go back to that. I'll try to go through really quick. We were going to do best and worst for each signs. Realize that this will be off the top of my head, so if I think about it longer, it might come up with different ones, but I'll try to do it for all 12. All right. Taurus female, Gemini male. Not awful, not great. Tauruses are homebodies and they like things stable. Geminis are kind of out and about, wanting to be very social and kind of do it. So I see this as the combo where, on the weekend, the one wants to go out and do all kinds of social things and the other wants to stay in. And so that could be a source of tension. The good thing about the Taurus is I don't think, my own opinion, I don't think Tauruses are overly possessive or jealous. So they could probably tolerate some of the social butterflyness on the Gemini side more. Just they're not going to want to kind of go out and be all social with them. So it gets a matter of, I guess, how much the Taurus trusts the Gemini, if the Gemini is going to go out and kind of do their own thing. Aquarius and a Capricorn. This is another one I don't think is all that great, and this is why. Caps are so achievement oriented and like to check off those boxes, and Aquarius likes to do everything outside the box. So again, it depends on the details, but I could see on one end, I guess on the positive, the innovative nature of an Aquarius linked up with a Cap could be, fantastic. So I see this more as a good combo business wise, not necessarily a good combo romance wise. Because romance wise, I see, maybe the Aquarius thinking outside the box and shaking things up antics could kind of rattle the more conservative Caps view of things and how, they may look, how it might reflect on them. They're a little more, I'm not so much like this because I think I have a lot of that Libra in, but Capricorns, at least reputation wise, tend to be really kind of socially conservative, and Aquariuses are almost the exact opposite. So I could see that being a source of tension. All right, coming down here, just getting caught up, guys. Okay, I think I did this one already, but I'll recap it quick. Gemini and Scorpio. I don't see this as a great one because of Scorpio's tendency to get jealous, combined with Gemini being very kind of that social butterfly, and I believe them probably the most flirtatious out of the 12 signs. So, again, it's all in the details. If they can align and find common ground, it's fine. But if you take, average on average, the flirtatiousness and kind of the just social interactions of the Gemini will more than likely trigger jealousy with the Scorpio. Here's an interesting one. Cancer and Taurus. I see this as if they're aligned, I see this as a great combo. They both like to be home. They both like security. They both like to kind of have a comfy nest. So, the Cancer will probably drive things because they're the cardinal sign. So as long as it's not in a direction that the Taurus doesn't like, because the Taurus will be very, very stubborn and not budge if it's going in a way they don't like it to. But in general, I think Cancer and Taurus is a really, really good combination. Alrighty, let's see here. Oh, cool. Steph has a stellium too. Tell me which sign if you don't mind. Just kind of going through here. Yeah, remember on all these are all like devils in the details on all this stuff. So any one of these combos, even if we go through and say like the 12 worst, you could be married 70 years with that combo because these are just trends. Thank you for the positive, since I'm winging this. Thank you. I'm getting some nice feedback here. So thank you very much. So, all right. So what we'll do, and, feel free to put in another combo in here, but I'll kind of go through what I see as the worst combos for the different signs, or at least, I'll do it even more. I'll do it really quick. I'll kind of go through them all. So see what you guys like. So, this is going to be really quick because there's a lot of combos. This will be 144. So we'll start with Aries. Aries on Aries. This is another one, you mix gasoline and diesel fuel, it can blow up. So this could be a lot of fun with the impulsiveness. But also it could be very, very destructive depending on what they do. And the other thing that I don't like about this combo for a long-term relationship is they're great at action. Neither one is really strong at long-term planning. Again, this is just sun signs. This could be different when you take the whole chart into consideration. So this is a couple that, if they're married and, building a life together, could kind of have a very shaky foundation kind of long-term planning wise, because I always say, since it's the first sign of the zodiac, think of like a teenage boy, they're thinking 2 weeks out. They're not thinking 5 years out. And so that could be dangerous. Aries and Taurus, I see that as in general, not a great combo, because the Aries is going to be very action oriented, wanting to go do things. Taurus, again, is more of a homebody, wants things more stable and structured. So I can see some conflict there. Aries and Gemini, that's kind of like a party combo. So I feel they would be a lot of action, a lot of fun. But also, again, just because of how Gemini's wired and Aries being so impulsive, I see that as maybe not a lot of staying power. So maybe a fun relationship, but not necessarily a long-term one. Again, doing these very quick. Aries, Cancer, they're square to each other, so they shouldn't be the best. And I would say that's, Cancer likes that emotional security, and the impulsiveness of an Aries just is going to kind of threaten that security. So I don't see that as a good combo. Aries, Leo, 2 fire signs, could be good as long as Aries' impulsiveness doesn't cramp Leo's style and cramp Leo. So that's one that I could see could go either way. It all depends on kind of how impulsive and what the Aries actually does that would affect the Leo. The other one, Aries and, sorry, I was reading chat and I distracted myself. Aries and Virgo, don't like that combo at all. Virgo likes detail. And it's not as bad as Aries and Cap, which I'll get to in a minute. But I see, Virgo kind of planning things out and having all these details, and then Aries is just going to go do stuff and constantly be kind of messing up Virgo's plans. Aries, Libra, they're opposite of each other. So they kind of are, two sides of, you know, the same coin, so they kind of complete each other. So it's interesting in that, you know, Libra can kind of balance out the Aries impulsiveness. So I could see that kind of going either way as well. Scorpio, I've mentioned this last time, or it was Scorpio a lot. Aries, it's that jealousy with the Scorpio. So it could be very, very steamy. It could be very, very, very interesting. But depending how, you know, where Aries channels that energy, you got to be careful triggering that jealousy on the Scorpio. Aries and Sag. That to me is like a combo that could have lots of fun, but again, I don't know if it's going to have staying power because Sag is the explorer, so they're going to be trying new things. Sag is going to be, or Aries is going to be very impulsive to do new things. So they're the couple that's going to be out doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But again, because they're so action oriented on things, I guess how much of a common interest they have on those actions would really depend on how much staying power they have. I already got kind of Cap, you know, Cap and Aries, a bad combo. You know, Cap will be planning out how to storm the beaches of Normandy, and Aries will just be like blowing through the door, doing their thing. And so it's just that their styles and approach to things are very, very different. So I don't see that as a good combo. Aries and Aquarius, again, depends which way it's channeled, but channeled in the same direction, that can be a very good combo. Aries out there making changes. You know, Aquarius wants to shake things up, and Aries won't hesitate to dive in and help them shake things up. So I think Aries and Aquarius is a good combo, as well as maybe surprisingly, out of all the Aries water combos, I actually think Aries and Pisces is a good combo because, Pisces has that kind of introspective, self-sacrificial, artsy kind of thing that I actually feel like it balances out the impulsiveness of the Aries. So I think they kind of, maybe even more so than Aries and Libra, I think Pisces can kind of mellow the Aries out. And so that's it. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we got another one in here. So I'm gonna jump off my going through the different signs. We have Pisces and Pisces. Generally, I think that's a good combo. The watch out I have from Pisces and Pisces is it's that 12th house piece. So they are all very introspective. So you just got to make sure that like they don't get kind of sucked down into this whole like introspective vortex, the two of them, where I don't even know how to describe it, but it's I'm not saying all Pisces do this. This is the Neptune and Pisces that Sarah always talks about, where she always worries about like overdoses and things like there's a chance if they both come in to the relationship and they both, let's say, have a similar pain that they share, they can kind of obsess on that and its own kind of like vortex sucking them down. So that's the only watch out on that. Otherwise, I think that's a really good, I actually like Pisces and Pisces together. All right. So I'll go really quick with Taurus. So Taurus, again, we'll just kind of go down the line, not including the ones that I've already covered. So Taurus, already said that's a good one. If they like doing the same things, they'll be both hanging out. We'll get to Dolly. We'll get to Cap. Katie, yes, Sarah's a Virgo. Maritza, I can't tell you one way or the other on that one, just other than, but Leos do in general like lots of attention. So you're probably looking for somebody that's going to give you attention if you're a stereotypical Leo. Taurus and Gemini, we already covered that one. That I feel like the socialness of the Gemini is going to kind of rub the wrong way with Taurus, who wants to stay home. Taurus and Cancer, we already covered. I think that's a good combo. They're both kind of homebodies, like security. Taurus and Leo, I think, is a good combo. Leo's going to want to do more things, so there'll be a little bit of a rub there with Taurus. But Taurus likes stability and likes to indulge things. And Leo can be a very indulgent sign as well. They just like some attention on top of it. So that could be the little bit of piece about it, is the Leo might want to go out and do things more than the Taurus would. Taurus and Virgo, Earth, that's a good combo as well. Virgo, just all the details. As long as, you know, all the things that the Virgo's picky about don't go in the opposite direction of what Taurus cares about, you're right. The biggest watch out with Taurus on anything is they're stubborn. They're not going to budge. So if you agree with them, you're in good shape. If you're trying to go the opposite direction of them, you're going to have problems. Libra, Taurus, they're both ruled by Venus, so they both like nice stuff. So I think that's in general a good combo too. And Libra is fairly easygoing on things, so they're not going to be pushing Taurus's buttons. So yeah, Taurus and Libra I think are a good combo. Taurus and Scorpio, I feel like that can either be really good or a train wreck, depending which way it goes. Because again, that intensity of the Scorpio. So if the Scorpio and the Taurus are aligned, that Earth water can be really good, and they have a lot of similar traits that would go really well. But if they're going opposite of each other, just how intense a Scorpio is with Taurus is not moving, kind of being immovable, that's going to be just painful on that end. Taurus and Sag, that's the worst combo out of this set. You got the explorer that just wants to go out and do things, try things, just explore with the big homebody. That's, in my opinion, probably the worst combo here. Cap, Taurus. I know your stereotypical ones will, you know, what'll be funny is you'll see a lot of these and they'll just kind of group it all by the elements, you know, that they get along the best. I'm not a huge fan of Cap, Taurus, because again, Cap's intense too. And so if they're aligned, it'll go great. But if they're not aligned, you're going to have a lot of conflict. And Cap being a cardinal sign's going to want to really drive things. And if the Taurus isn't going to budge, that could be a really bad combo, particularly since Cap's cold intensity. So they're not going to necessarily be very empathetic if that conflict pops up. So that'll be interesting. They both like nice things. So there's an overlap there from the Earth signs. But if their goals are not aligned, big problems there. Aquarius and Taurus, I don't think that's a great combo. You know, Aquarius wants to shake things up, do lots of different things, and Taurus just wants to be stable and indulgent. So just two very different outlooks on things. Taurus and Pisces, I think, is a great combo again. Pisces with that whole kind of artsy and introspective and kind of self-sacrificial piece. They'll be content to kind of hang out with Taurus and watch Netflix and eat pizza. All right, let me get caught up here. All right, here. Just scanning here really quick, guys. Sorry. All right, we're just going to kind of keep going. All right, so then we're on Gemini. So remember what I said, Gemini, social butterfly. So probably the most flirtatious one. So this is going to probably jive with the extroverted fire air signs and have problems with the earth and definitely the water signs. So we'll start off Gemini, Cancer. Already covered that one. I feel the social nature of the Gemini is going to threaten that security of Cancer, which is very important to them. So not a great combo. Gemini and Virgo. I actually like this one because Virgo, with all their details, and Gemini is kind of indecisive. Virgo is going to be able to drive a lot of that relationship, even if Gemini doesn't realize it. And so that'll probably make Virgo feel pretty good. And I don't think Virgo will get as triggered to the social things as some of the other signs will. So I'm actually surprised at that conclusion, but I think they'd be okay. Gemini and Leo, that's kind of another one of these I think could be phenomenal or a train wreck if they're aligned well. Both like attention, both are very sociable signs, so they could be kind of this power couple or very outgoing, very exciting couple. If jealousy issues come in to that, the way they're both wired, that could end up being a train wreck. So it's all going to depend on how secure they make each other feel, but they could have a lot of fun. Alrighty. And I flip-flopped Leo and Virgo there, so I apologize. Gemini and Libra. Yeah, that's, I don't know about the staying power for them, but it's a good combo. Libra's got a rap for being pretty flirtatious too, and they're both very social. They're both kind of indecisive as well, so that could be interesting. Maybe not a good long-term combo again, because if you struggle making decisions, it's hard to kind of build a long-term plan. But I don't see any like real red flags with them together. Gemini and Scorpio we already covered. I feel like the kind of the flirtatiousness could really trigger some of that emotional intensity on the Scorpio one. So unless they have a good common ground and good understanding, that won't go very well. What are we at? Sag. Again, it's a weird combo. I almost think the same as Leo. Like, Sag is just going to went out and try different things, and Gemini is going to, be out doing the social. Neither one's really known for, if you do a lot of reading on these things, neither one really values stability. So, this could be just a very almost non-traditional kind of like free flow, fantastic partnership, or, they could both end up being together and then kind of wander off on their own and not realize that they left their partner behind. So that's an interesting combo, but it's not bad. Gemini and Cap, I don't see this as a really good one either. They have on the intellectual side, I feel like they could have a lot of common ground, but again, I think it's not so much emotional intensity with the Capricorn, but I feel like it could still trigger that kind of indecisiveness and kind of more than the social butterflyness, that kind of indecisiveness on the Gemini, I think could kind of trigger Capricorn, who has all these grand long-term plans for things. We'll get to that. Let's see here. Where am I at? Gemini and Aquarius. That's a good combo too. I think Aquarius will drive that relationship because they're going to want to do all the different kind of change things, innovative, be outside the box. And since Gemini's kind of trying to figure out which way to go, they'll just kind of follow Aquarius's lead. But again, that air on air, I think air on air signs in general are pretty good combos. And then finally, Gemini and Pisces. I feel a theme here. I don't know if I'm going to have necessarily a bad Pisces combo because of that whole like self-sacrificial energy on the Pisces side. I feel like Pisces will be understanding to Gemini's kind of, more social butterfly, flirtatious nature, and tolerate that more than definitely the other water signs would. So I feel they'd be okay as well. Got a call out here, Pisces and a Cap. Again, I feel like Pisces in general is a pretty easy sign to get along with. So because again, it's that last sign. I always say it's like that deathbed perspective. It's more about others than themselves. There's also that kind of psychological introspective 12th house stuff with it. I think they sync well with Capricorn. They would help kind of mellow out Cap's intensity on stuff, if that makes sense. All right, gonna keep going. Cancer. So Cancer and Cancer, as long as they're aligned, that's great. They both want emotional security. So if they have the same goals in mind, that they will go great. Cancer and Leo, not the greatest in my opinion, because I feel like, again, it all depends on how well aligned they are. But if Leo's wanting the spotlight and wanting attention, if that threatens Cancer's emotional security, they're not going to like that. And so there could be some problems there. Virgo and Cancer, I think, is a great combo. Again, all these things are predicated on them being aligned, but, Cancer wanting that kind of emotional security, a little bit more of a homebody. Virgo's attention to detail, I think both sync up very nicely. So they can work well together. Cancer and Libra, don't like that combo. Again, Libra, much like Gemini, kind of has a rep for being kind of flirtatious and overly social, and I feel like that can trigger Cancer's emotional security. Cancer and Scorpio, I think, is a great combo. As long as they're aligned, there's a lot of emotional intensity there. So if there are fights between that combo, go hide, go in your storm cellar, because they could have some colossal battles there with the amount of emotional intensity between those two signs. Sag and Cancer, horrible combo, in my opinion. Again, anything can work, but you got the explorer that's just wants to run around trying new things with the person that wants to be stable and secure at home. Just two very different goals, which drives that differently. Cancer and Cap, they are opposite signs of each other, so they kind of complete each other. So it's kind of interesting. You have Cap driving things. Cancer also driving things as a cardinal sign, but wanting that emotional security. Where this gets weird is if they find common ground, the emotional intensity of Cancer can kind of balance out. Like the Cap's cold intensity can kind of mellow out the Cancer's emotional intensity, and vice versa. That's if it works well. If it works poorly, the kind of cold intensity from the Cap will leave the Cancer feeling kind of wanting emotionally, and that'll kind of cause problems. So again, it all depends on which way the energy is channeled. Cancer and Aquarius, not the greatest, again, because Aquarius is wanting to stir things up, shake things up. Cancer likes security. Those things kind of don't go hand in hand. And then finally, Cancer and Pisces. I'm curious now if I'm going to have a bad Pisces combo, because again, that introspective piece, I feel like Pisces can kind of help Cancer feel secure, and they can kind of emotionally wise kind of mellow each other's out as well. All right, where am I at? Leo, Virgo. That could go either way. You got the ego of Leo and the detail of Virgo. If their goals are aligned, they could be a great partnership. Seems a little more better business than romance, but still, it could work. Leo and Libra, I know Aaron Fire should be fine, but I don't like this one just because, again, Libra's issues. Katie wants me to do a spay and neuter commercial break. I'm all for spay and no unwanted pets. All right, so yeah. Again, there's a little bit of a flirtatious angle on Libra, and I see that as kind of triggering Leo, who wants the attention. And Libra is going to kind of spread attention out and not necessarily give it all to the Leo. Same thing with Leo and Scorpio. I see that, Leo's kind of the opposite end. Leo's ego and wanting attention is going to trigger Scorpio. Some of that emotional intensity on Scorpio. Leo and Sag. This is a weird one. So think about this. This is the couple that goes out on the adventures together, which satisfies the Sag. And as long as the Leo is doing all these Instagram photos to look, I'm doing this, look, I'm doing that for their followers, they'll get along great. So if Leo's getting some kind of attention out of doing all the new things, and Scorpio's doing Sag is doing all the new activities, that'll be great. But Leo's not going to want to do these activities if there's nobody there to watch or kind of admire them doing it. All right, let's see how. Ooh, interesting question. Do you think a Pisces would be a good parent? Well, I think any sign can be a good parent. It just depends on they're all going to have different strengths and weaknesses. I feel the Pisces will be a very understanding parent. What I would say is the weakness of the Pisces, because it's that mutable water, is others can really influence. So that's why I'm kind of like saying in these romantic ones, they make a good partner because they kind of can smooth out the other side. But the downside on that is the Pisces can get lost in the other person. So there's almost a watch out, Pisces isn't necessarily incompatible with any of them, but there's a watch out for the Pisces themselves, that they don't kind of get lost in the other person. And so as a parent, that could happen as well. If, let's say they're matched up with somebody that's not a great parent, they might not be the strongest advocate for the child against those energies, if that makes sense. All right, where am I at? Where was I at? I was at Leo. Did I get all the way through Leo? No, I was at Leo and Sag. Leo and Cap. It's funny. That's my marriage, so I'm not going to say anything bad about this one. Again, it all depends on alignment. I feel like Cap's drive to accomplish things can align really, really well with Leo, and the attention and kind of the piece of that. It just all depends on where the energies are channeled. I just realized that like I'm kind of like crooked here. I must have knocked my. See if that's a little bit better. It was starting to bug me. Leo and Aquarius. I don't see that's the greatest combo because again, Aquarius shaking things up. Well, that's weird. That could go either way because if Leo gets a lot of attention from that kind of shaking things up, they'll be happy. But if it gives them bad attention or kind of bad press, they're not going to like it. So that could go either way. And then once again, Pisces, you're going to hear the same thing, I think, every time with Pisces. They can be very understanding and helpful to the Leo. The Pisces watch out is that they don't get lost, particularly since Leo's got a very strong ego. Leo could kind of trample the Pisces in a relationship. All right, trying to rattle on here because I know we're going along, but people are staying with me, so I'm going to keep going. Virgo and Virgo. That is going to be that household or that relationship is going to be all about detail. They're going to have every little detail covered. That's not a situation where you're going to get away with anything. You're going to have to remember your dates. You're going to have to remember everything. But Virgos are wired that way, so that won't be a problem. Virgo and Libra, not the best. Again, Libra likes nice things, and Virgo with their detail could give the nice things, but Libra is not very decisive, and I think Virgo is much more kind of focused and driven on what they want. So that's where there could be some conflict there. Virgo and Scorpio, that's one of those where I could say could go either way. It could be dumpster fire, it could be phenomenal. It all depends on where the energies are channeled. If the Virgo and Scorpio are working together, the attention to detail from the Virgo with that emotional intensity on the Scorpio could really be pretty rewarding. But if they're working against each other, that could be pretty bad. Virgo and Sag, don't think that's a great one. I take that back. That's kind of a 50-50. Virgo could be very great at planning Sag's adventures out for them. So if they're aligned and have a common interest, there could be some really positive things that come from that. If they're not aligned, kind of the spontaneity, where I was originally thinking negative is Sagittarius is very spontaneous. That doesn't work very well to somebody that likes lots and lots of details and likes things settled. So that's where I saw the original friction. But if they can hit a common ground where, Virgo's like helping develop the Sag's itinerary, that could work very well. Virgo and Cap, that's kind of a power couple energy. Maybe not the most emotional energy because neither one's particularly warm. But, you have Virgo details. They're kind of goal driven. Cap's all about goals and getting things done. So that's kind of, I view that as kind of a power couple dynamic. So then Virgo and Aquarius, again, I kind of see that the same as the Sag. Virgo could be a very good kind of strategic planner for Aquarius and kind of moving things forward. But if Aquarius is wanting to be outside the box and be innovative, is always kind of like breaking the rules and messing up Virgo's plans, and that could be a giant mess. And then finally, Virgo and Pisces. This might be the first one that, I've been pretty positive on all the Pisces ones. This might be one of the rougher of them just because I could see some of the tendencies on Pisces kind of rubbing the detail and kind of analytical pieces of the Virgo the wrong way. Again, if they find common ground, they could really, work well together. But there are some energies there that could kind of work against each other. All right, still going pretty quick here. I know we're some folks here are saying good night. So good night, folks. All righty, so we're on to the next. I'm at Libra, right? Okay. Libra. Won't be the most decisive combo, but they'll like really nice things. They'll have a very kind of stylish set, and they're the interesting thing on the Libra is, and there's somebody I have a Libra stellium, so I'm if anybody thinks I'm being negative, then I'm being negative on kind of my own sign. They want harmony in relationships to the point that they might gloss over things. So this is the one where I think like some passive aggressive stuff might come out. So this could be a couple that if there is some problems, everything's cool for 12 years, and then all of a sudden it like absolutely blows up. So it's just interesting. You might not know what you actually have on that front because they want peace and harmony. And so neither one might be actually advocating for what they want. That being said, that combo with Scorpio, Scorpio can just totally steamroll a Libra on their intensity, which, short term might be fine. Again, though, Libra is very social, so you got to watch triggering the jealousy or triggering the emotions there. And then if Libra has some problems or things they don't like, they're not going to voice that till much later down the road. And then you could have problems there. Libra and Sag, not a bad combo. Libra will pretty much just go along with what the Sag is doing, as long as their adventures aren't, how can I word this? Aren't too Spartan, as long as they're not like doing like Naked and Afraid like adventures, or living 2 months out in the woods in under a tarp or something, because that would certainly cramp Libra's style. But Libra's not opposed to doing the adventure things. They just want it nice. Libra and Cap, I think again that's a good combo. Both like nice things. Libra, I believe, will go along with kind of Cap's driving for things. The only watch out I have there is Capricorn's cold intensity combined with Libra just wanting to keep the peace. That's another relationship that if there are issues, you won't know right away, and it could really blow up into something bad down the road. Libra and Aquarius, you got the nice, again, I've already covered Libra. So, Aquarius with that innovative out of the box. Again, Libra will kind of be okay and go along with it as long as things are nice. And then finally, Libra and Pisces. Wow, this is a interesting one. Because neither one, I'd say, is very overtly forceful in what they want in a relationship. So this could be a really interesting one. It's like I almost picture like what do you want to do? Well, I don't care. What do you want to do? I don't care. What do you want to do? And so again, my worry there is I think in general it'll be fine, but the watch out is issues aren't going to necessarily be put on the table early on here, and this is something that could simmer over time and really kind of blow up. All right, kind of cranking down here. We got Scorpio. So Scorpio and Sagittarius. Surprising again, water and fire can get really steamy. This is another one that could be a very interesting combo. It's all going to matter of is Sagittarius's adventures going to align with kind of the emotional intensity on Scorpio, or is it going to be enough that the Scorpio doesn't feel secure? Then there'll be issues. But if they're aligned, it's actually a pretty interesting combo where I think they balance each other out pretty well. Scorpio and Cap, that's another interesting one too. If they're aligned, that can be a great combo. If they're not aligned, you have, in my opinion, the two most intense signs Just one is emotional intensity, one is cold intensity. So that could blow up. Yeah, sorry, Katie. You'll never hear me sing. There's a long story behind that. It's a funny story, but yeah, you'll never hear me sing. Where was I at? Scorpio and Aquarius. Again, it all depends on triggering that emotional intensity, that innovative, out of the box stuff. Scorpio can be an ally in that, so that's not necessarily a problem. But if they're not aligned, then that the Scorpio is not feeling secure, then that's when kind of the tail comes out, and that doesn't work out well. Scorpio and Pisces, again, the watch out for Pisces is not to get lost. Scorpio, I feel, is the more intense, stronger sign in driving that relationship. And so Pisces just has to make sure that they stand up for themselves and don't let Scorpio kind of like steamroll. Sag and Cap, I don't feel are a good combination at all. I know some people called out Cap in particular, so I'll just say Sag might be the worst combo for a Cap in my opinion, just because they're out there wanting to explore, wanting to do different things. I guess it could align. It all depends on how I always view Sagittarius as very spontaneous, and that kind of isn't. Them and Aries doesn't jive well with Capricorns that have like these all grand strategic plans and things. They're not going to want to do anything spontaneous. They want to have everything really planned out. So if they find common ground, it could work really well. But in general, that kind of spontaneity, I feel, rubs Cap the wrong way. Sag and Aquarius could be fantastic as long as their powers are used for good. This is another one of those that if they have destructive interests, could be kind of bad. But you have the one sign wanting to shake things up, the other sign wanting to try new things. So that's a very adventurous pairing. I also see the same thing in Sag and Pisces. I feel like Sag could just drag Pisces into their adventures, and so and Pisces can help kind of, again, mellow out Sagittarius. But if Sagittarius dabbles in some not very good or constructive things, that could be a bad. Pisces will just go along with it. They're not going to necessarily pull them back from that, and they'll kind of both go down into the abyss. All right, almost done here. We got Cap and Aquarius. That's a weird. I feel like that's a good business pairing, but not a good romance pairing. I feel the innovation for Aquarius with the strategy of a Cap is a great business pairing. Romantically, I feel like long term, that kind of wanting to be out of the box for the Aquarius will kind of rub the more traditional Cap the wrong way. So not the greatest combo. Cap and Pisces, I think, is again another good combo. I think that cold intensity on the Cap. Pisces can kind of help mellow that out, kind of nurture that. I also feel like the Cap can help kind of drive the Pisces towards some more of its goals. The watch out there is to not let the Cap get too steamroll up. But if there's a good understanding there, I feel the Cap can help the Pisces as much as the Pisces helps the Cap. And we're on to our last one, Aquarius and Pisces. Kind of an odd one. Again, I feel like, the Pisces tendency is going to be to just kind of go along and kind of support Aquarius as they're going out there, kind of breaking all those rules. So this is one that if it's in a good channeled in a good way, can be very positive. If the Aquarius takes that innovative or rebellious energy in a dark way, Pisces will help. What's the right word? Enable that as opposed to counterbalance it and then go in a negative way. And I'm shocked. I thought that 144 combos would take a lot longer. Since we're done, see if I missed anything. I was sorry. I was starting to ignore the chat just so I didn't get distracted. So just getting kind of, looks like Katie was getting ready to go to bed. She says, take one for the team for Libra. I always see I see that kind of with Pisces as well. No, she protested the nice. No, see, Libra, it's It's interesting. Libra and Taurus are ruled by Venus, but Taurus is like I'm going to be home and comfortable, whereas like the Libra is a little more. I always view as I used to have all these stereotypes for them. I don't use them as much anymore, but I in general, don't get offended, folks. I view like Libra energy. It's like that preppy energy. It's like the school kids in the Beamer and the super expensive clothes and stuff. That's like Libra energy. They like nice stuff. It's that Venus piece. All right. Yeah, a lot of like relationship pieces here. I'm just trying to get caught up, guys. And remember, any combo can work. That piece, that's what I kept saying. It all depends on if your goals are aligned or not. You can take those energies with anything. You can take those energies and you can go in the same direction or you can go in opposite directions. And, some of these combos are way more volatile if those energies go in different directions. So we're kind of talking about, nuclear bomb versus a firecracker on some of these if they're not aligned. And that's what I was trying to call out. Some of these are a little more. All right, we covered some of these, but I'll double back because we got some people just asking really quick. Libra and Taurus, both ruled by Venus. So I feel in general they're a good combo. Only difference is Libra is much more, since it's the air signs, much more external, extroverted focused, whereas Taurus is a little bit more of a homebody. Biggest thing I watch out, I said with Taurus on all of them, is the stubbornness. So any relationship wise, if you have a major issue in the relationship that you are on the opposite side of a Taurus on, they tend to be really stubborn, so that can be like an ongoing issue. Okay, just kind of going through here. All right. Sorry, guys. I don't want to make this boring, but I feel like I missed a lot in the chat. And just remember, I see some people agreeing with me, some people don't. Again, world according to Matt. But I will say, just to kind of pat what we do here, Sarah and I do here, as opposed to, you'll see a lot out there that just do the simple grid of, if you want to be real basic, I don't necessarily agree with this. You got air and fire, and you have earth and water. And so, the general thing, and there'll be tons of videos where they just play this out with no extra analysis, is, all the airs and fires will get along, and all the earths and waters will get along. And then if you pick the sign that's opposite, they get along even better. So, the earth signs that are opposite the water signs are stronger than the other water signs, and vice versa. So anyway, well, yeah, so like Steph saying, Taurus daughter is less stubborn than Libra daughter. I got to say again, it's not just the sun sign. You got, these things would apply if maybe like all the planets were all in that sign, but you have all these other pieces kind of counterbalancing them and interplay in that. And if you want to get really technical, you have like early, mid, and late in the signs where they fall. There can be little influences there. So it's, like it's interesting. Like I'm an early Cap. So, in some respects, I should have a little more Sag energy in me. I don't think I do, but, in theory, that's a whole nother layer of complexity we don't need to get into right now. All right, folks. Well, I know we went a little long here, but thank you for bearing with me as we did this kind of Valentine's Day winging it night, and hope you all enjoyed it. Join me Sunday Night Dad. I took last week off for the Super Bowl, which was a excruciating experience. Yeah, it was just, I don't even want to go there. It was just excruciating. So how much do I put on the nodes in the chart? I will look at it. It's an extra layer. So I usually don't do anything with the node stuff on the fly. That would be something that if I was actually sitting down and really diving into somebody's chart, I would do it. But I tend to not do a lot of node things, just like off the top of my head, if that makes sense. Doesn't it matter for moon signs? A person born on a sun sign, but based on their chart, could say a person actually portray characteristics of a completely different sign. See, it's a mix of all of it, Katie. So you have your ascendant, which is the sign that's on the horizon at the time of your birth, and that is your first impression on people. So like in my case, I'm a Leo ascendant. So, my impression to people could be very Leo-ish, even though I don't have that, Leo in my chart at all. Then your sun signs, kind of your outward energy, your moon signs, your inner emotional world. Mercury is how you communicate, which, it's going to be very close to your sun sign. Not always, but at least be, on either side of what your sun sign is. We already covered Venus, so if you're a guy, Venus is what you're attracted to. If you're a girl, Venus is how you express romantic things, and then it's vice versa for Mars. Then you get into the later planets, and that's more generational type stuff. So then as Steph pointed into, I don't want to overcomplicate things for folks, but you got your nodes. You have the different houses, what planets are in different houses. That explains different things. I'll just give an example, the house that Pluto is in, at least in theory, should be the house or the area in your life where you have the most challenges. So I hope that helps you guys. Yeah, I'm what the heck, just for sharing. I'm Leo ascendant, Cap, Sun, Taurus, Moon, Cap, Mercury, Aquarius, Venus, Libra, Mars. And then I have some other Libras in the slower planets. So, Katie, that's interesting. She's a Libra married to another Libra that was born 1 day, 1 hour, and 1 year ahead of her. That's interesting. So, yeah, and then supposedly, if you just want to be very general, your opposite signs kind of have all the characteristics that you lack. So that can give either a great amount of tension or it can be a really good combo depending on how you look at it. And then the signs that are square to you are the ones that are, at least in theory, you should have the biggest issues with. Now, maybe it's just because I have a lot of Libra in my, I don't have any, real problems Libra-wise. Aries, stereotypical Aries kind of conflicts a lot with my style, as does Sag. So I don't know. Those are just general. You'll see there'll be all kinds of videos out there where they just do that textbook thing. They just look at the elements and, opposite and square, and they just kind of rattle it off that way. I tried, much like I just do when Sarah throws the aspects at me, I tried to mentally piece it out for each one here really quickly tonight. All right, guys. Well, I must run. I have work tomorrow, but yeah, join me. We'll be on next week. I have a conflict, so it might be one of these where we do it on Monday or Wednesday. I have another play that I'm going to. And other than that, join me for Sunday Night Dead, too. Sunday, 9 o'clock. Same locations. Have a great one. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Thank you.